Hello, my name is Kristen, and this video is for the purpose of providing information to someone who may be struggling with their alcohol use. I've learned over the years of working with people struggling with alcohol that almost always the person is not aware of what they are actually contending with in terms of the problem they're experiencing. So I wanted to just provide some real basic information about what any person can expect to experience with this issue, because it's pretty much the same for everybody. It's different in some ways, but ultimately it's the same thing, because when alcohol is consumed in whatever amount is problematic for you, it will start to operate in the same way it operates in other people that you see with maybe more severe drinking problem. But the thing is, it's not that they have a more severe drinking problem or that they have a problem and you don't. It's that they're further along the trajectory of the process. So say this is like time, and you start here, you start your life over here, and at some point you began to drink, and maybe then you drank more and more and more and more and more, and then it became, people are complaining about it, and it's becoming a problem, and it's causing problems. And you keep hoping that you're going to be able to just drink in moderation and things like that. This is all the common narrative. Nobody has a unique narrative when it comes to alcohol. There's nothing unique about how you're thinking about it, whether a person is rich or poor, educated, uneducated, no matter what ethnicity. The thinking that goes on about the problem is always the same. And I know that because I've talked to hundreds of people and all different kinds of people, and they all say the same things. Okay? So that's one thing to understand. This problem operates the same way in everybody. And it helps to see it, or helps some people to see it as an illness or a disease. If that makes you uncomfortable to think of it that way, then why don't we call it a process? Because any human who consumes whatever amount that causes them to start to have, pass a threshold basically, and it becomes problematic for them, where periodically they drink more than they meant to and things like that, or they can't stop drinking. It operates the same way. And it progresses. So going back to the timeline, we could say, in college or whatever, maybe 15, 16, you have a drink or two. Okay, that's great. Everyone's got a different kind of start, different story. Some people get hooked on it right away because it finally brings them a sense of relief and relaxation, because maybe life hasn't been too good to them, so it seems like a good solution. It helps them relax, helps them talk to people, all the benefits of alcohol that we know about, right? It does make a human body feel good at a certain point, and then if we drink too much, then it's too much, and then, we're drunk, we're hungover, and then we're sick, and then we pay back the next day with time because we have to recover. Okay, so but it's one line though. So once you start to get into a problematic way of drinking, you're moving this way. There's only one way to move, and even if you say you stop drinking somewhere because maybe you got a DUI, or your spouse was like, you've got to stop drinking or I'm leaving, and then you stop drinking, and say you don't drink for 5 years. You don't get to go over here and start over with 1 or 2 and you can handle it. It doesn't work that way. If you pick it up again, you're going to start right here, and very quickly actually it'll go forward. and you've probably experienced this if you've been dealing with this problem for, say, a long time, you know what I'm talking about. It's like so quickly, within a couple days or a week, you're right back to how much you were drinking before and more, right? Now, so there's all this time period here until this threshold. This is what I call, it's like, okay, you're not physically dependent, and then you cross over here, and now you're physically dependent. This is where, when you start to edge towards this line here, you're going to start to experience withdrawal symptoms if you don't get alcohol into your body, because now your body needs it to just maintain its homeostasis or balance, operating physiologically. This is not a fun place to be, and it's a completely different animal than this whole time period here. This line could be anywhere for you. Some people become dependent as a young adult. Some people don't until they're in their 50s or 60s. It just depends on your life, your body, all these variables, right? But there is a line, and once you cross it, you can't go back to this. Again, you're moving this way. It's a one-way road, and the only way to get off the road is to stop introducing alcohol into your body. It just keeps going. And if you've known anyone who's dependent, it's really a rough situation, because when they want to try to modify their drinking or slow it down or stop, they're going to go through these severe withdrawal symptoms, which actually are life-threatening. And that's why most people don't successfully, once they become dependent, they don't successfully quit drinking at home, because they just simply can't, unless there wasn't alcohol like literally available to them, because now you're at risk for a massive heart attack, a stroke, seizures, massive like hallucinations, like all these things. And it's highly unpleasant, and it's quite frightening. And not to mention sweating, vomiting, shaking violently, all these things. And the heart racing and the anxiety is so high, because the body kind of knows it needs alcohol or it's going to be in some serious trouble. And when you're over here, you need to be medically detoxed to do it safely. But then again, you can't go back here and think, oh, I can drink and I won't become dependent. I don't know that there's, actual research that says what I'm saying to you, but I'm going to say it to you because this is what I've seen in people. They detox, they stay sober for a while, and then they decide, I'm going to have a beer once in a while, or whatever, once in a while, or maybe once a night. They're not able to stay in this non-dependent zone. They end up getting dependent again. And I've seen it over and over and over and over. Once something must, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but something must change physiologically or in the brain where the body really can't have the alcohol reintroduced after you've detoxed and then not be dependent very quickly after that. So obviously the end point here is death, because the body can only take so much assault over so many years of the alcohol going in. Now, I'm sharing this information just to, show you what it just is, how this thing operates, whether we call it alcohol use disorder, whether we call it alcoholism, whether we call it a disease. It is literally a disease. It becomes a disease because it makes all these negative changes. It affects every system of your body. So your body becomes diseased. And then I can add to that story the fact that the mind gets taken over by the process of this activity and this road that you're on, so that your mind is not your own. You may think you're thinking about alcohol. It's not you thinking about alcohol. It's the process in your body is causing thoughts of alcohol, all kinds of thoughts. All it needs to do is get you to drink, because that's how it's operating in you. So one reason I like to, just kind of give this overview to people right up front is to take away the sense of shame about this. This is not something to be ashamed of. This issue, this struggle, this disease process, whatever we call it, is extremely powerful. It has taken down, the strongest, smartest, most creative, sensitive, loving people. It doesn't have any care about what it's destroying. It just does it as it does it with everyone it does it with, everyone it gets a foothold into, okay? So there is no reason to feel bad about, oh, I didn't have the willpower, I'm ashamed because, it's bad to be an alcoholic and all this. All that is garbage, and it needs to be no more a part of how you think about yourself. You're contending with something that is extremely powerful, and it operates the same way in everybody, and it's just how it operates. It causes people to think a certain way, behave a certain way. It causes really faulty thinking that you think is your own reasoning, and it isn't. So I think that pretty much sums it up. So there's one segment of information about alcohol problems, and the fact that once you're here, you have to medically detox to be safe, and then really you need to understand that if you have thoughts of, oh, I can figure it out and I can manage and I can drink, that's just the disease talking to you to reintroduce something, because it's become such a habit. And when we're breaking a habit, it's really hard to continue to do something very different. But the only way to get off this road is to get off the road, and that's why abstinence it's really the best approach. It's the only way. It's your path to your freedom. It's your path to recovery of your life and your true self. This self that's on this road, that's not you. Your potential has been limited. Your thinking has been limited. All the good you would like to do in your life is really just taken away from you. It's just destructive. So, yep, I guess I'll end there. Thank you for listening, and I hope this was helpful.